My name is Mitch Rue. I was born on the 15th of April in 1960. I was 9 years old at the time of the event you want to talk about. I was relatively young, okay, but what we had heard, okay, and this was on primarily evening news and newspapers and things like that, because even at 9 years old we read newspapers at a young age. Russia was winning the space race. When I was very young, I know President Kennedy, basically after Sputnik, okay, went to, orbited the planet, and I want to say that the Russians even made a soft landing with Luna 2, I believe, was the craft on the moon already. And so we were embarrassed a little bit. Okay, not only space-wise, but education-wise, because Russia was, was during the Cold War, and they were the greatest enemy the United States had, and here they were showing they were more technologically advanced, probably more educationally advanced. We were in second, and the United States was not used to being in second place, and we were rather competitive. And I think after President Kennedy was elected, and he kind of basically said, we want to get a man on the moon by the end of the century, and people took it to heart. And of course, we didn't know with things like what NASA was doing, but heck, we ended up doing it in a relatively short amount of time. So there was an embarrassment that went along with we're not as good as somebody else, and they proved it, time and time again by sending manned and unmanned crafts into space before us. So that's why the moon landing, I think, became such a big deal for the entire country. Well, all the time, especially when they died. I want to say in my lifetime, there have been 18, I believe, astronauts and cosmonauts, Russia lost some too, okay, who have died in space. There was usually biographies of who these people were, whether they were married, what their wives' names were, how many children that they had, where they lived, where they were from, where they went to school. Okay, and with only 3 channels, okay, and all of them reporting basically the same things, all of America knew personal information about these astronauts, so you felt like you were a part of the trip. It was very emotional. I remember seeing my mom emotional, and my mom was never emotional. She had 7 kids. She didn't have time to be emotional. Okay, but it was like, this is really happening. And the footage was grainy, and it was not very good, but we knew we were someplace, and it didn't have trees, and there wasn't water, okay? And then we heard Neil Armstrong, what he said, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
When they came back, they were heroes. And I think some of them went back to the moon again. I believe there were maybe 3 astronauts that returned back to the moon. But we were up there, I want to say, that mission probably lasted 7-8 days. And so we were on the moon for several. That first moonwalk took about 2 hours, I think. And we all tried to stay up and watch it. It was something that was very special, and it's still special just thinking about it. Had you not asked me, I wouldn't have thought about it too much, because look what we do today. We go anywhere we want. We have all the device, everything we want in our palm of our hand. Okay, but that day was special because that day made it start.